Need a laptop that's built to perform and designed to last all day? Select Windows 11 PCs starting at $499.99 are now at Best Buy. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
I wrote a little song to remind you, Choice Hotels get you more of the experiences you value. The Cambria Hotel's got it all. A rooftop bar, have a ball. Bring a date, your squad, or even your mom. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
Welcome to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends, where we take a deep dive into the Star Wars universe, such as characters, creatures, stories, and so much more. Hosted by Ben of Temeria and Kadojo.
Welcome back, adepts and acolytes, to Star Wars, or to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends. I'm all out of whack today, as usual. I am Brandon, or also known as Ben of Temeria, and always with me is my good friend, Kadojo.
Hello there.
And today we are bringing you another character deep dive, and we are going over the beloved character that we have in the Clone Wars, in the original animated, and the newly animated Clone Wars, obviously, Asajj Ventress. Part 1. This is going to be a two-parter.
I don't know if it's beloved character.
Well, her character gets a lot better throughout the series, especially later, essentially after the Clone Wars. Her characters are really cool. But yeah, we're going over Asajj Ventress because just like we did Cad Bane, we're doing her character because she is the second character that's going to be part of the new Tales of the Underworld.
Yep.
Which drops this upcoming Sunday. So,
yeah,
be prepared for that. Star Wars Day, this upcoming Sunday. Super exciting stuff. Shop Disney is going to have a bunch of cool things on there. Just saying. Which I'll go over that stuff in the mid-break. Don't worry about that. So, yeah, let's get right into it. So, in 50 BBY, the female Dathomirian Asajj Ventress was born on the planet of Dathomir in the twilight years of the Galactic Republic. Dathomir, which was outside of the Republic space, was ruled by the Night Sisters, a clan of witches used the Force in the form of magic to manipulate the environment and control their male counterparts, the Night Brothers. Ventress's mother belonged to the Coven, led by Mother Talzin, a powerful spellcaster and former associate of the Sith Order.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad blood between the Night Sisters and Sith.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. That's one way to put that there. Oh boy, and does it get worse. So while Ventress was still an infant, Talzin's clan came under the threat associated with the Sinistine criminal Halstead. In order to ensure her people's safety, Talzin arranged for Ventress's mother to surrender the young girl to Halstead. The Sinistine ferried the enslaved Ventress to the war-torn world of Ratatak, where Ventress lived for him for several years and appreciated his surprising kindness as a master. In reality, however, he was trying to turn her into a living weapon. Because why not?
Night Sisters are known to be powerful warriors. And
oh, yeah.
Some of them do have Force capabilities. Not many of them, but some do.
Right. Her new homeworld was a violent land ruled by warlords and wrecked by repeated raids from Weequay pirate bands. When Ventress was 6 years old in 44 BBY, Halstead was killed during a pirate uprising. Ventress discovered her captor's body and grieved his passing, but she was alerted by the arrival of Kai Naretic, a Jedi Knight who had been stranded on Ratatak, and resolved to combat the pirate menace. So she was found by a Jedi.
Of course, I would like to point out that first she was traded to a criminal, and then she grieved the criminal. Yep. To a pirate uprising, and then was saved by a Jedi.
Yep. A very weird turn of events. So when he too was attacked by a Weequay, Ventress called upon the previously untapped Force powers to throw the pilot into the air and across several houses. Recognizing her potential in the Force, Narek took the child into his care and made her his Jedi Padawan. Unknown to her at the time, Narek was the one who killed Halstead rather than the pirates. Dun dun dun. So things are going to get interesting.
What is it with Jedi Masters and keeping big secrets from the Padawans?
Right. And, I mean, did he really know that Halstead was the one, was taking care of her? I don't know. So for 21 years, Narek trained the young Dathomirian in the ways of the Jedi Order. Together, they worked to protect the people of Ratatak from the pirates and warlords that preyed upon them, becoming heroes to many and enemies to those who visit violence on the local people. Narek tutored his apprentice in lightsaber combat with a blade of her own and the use of the Force.
So I'm sorry, you're telling me for 21 years they never contacted the Republic at all and say, "Hey, I got this Padawan here. I've taken on my wing." No chance whatsoever this happened. For 21 years. Come on, there's something fishy about this. There is something fishy about this. And now we go into the part where I try to screw with Ben while he takes an important phone call. Unfortunately, Ben is not responding to my screw-ups. Ben, where are you? Okay, I think he's done with his phone call now.
Oh, I gotta love work when I tell my associates at work, hey, I record during these times, and what do? They call me during those times. I hate it so much.
Hey, it's 8 o'clock. Let's call him up now.
Right? Moving on. Despite her proficiency, Ventress was unable to avoid being orphaned once more. While the two were battling under the raid by Weequay pirates, Narek was shot in the back and killed. The loss devastated Ventress, and she took up her fallen master's lightsaber and killed Narek's assailants. Bereft of guidance and with only the introductory training of the power of the Force, the young Dathomirian embraced the dark side and waged war of vengeance against the pirates and warlords that controlled Ratatak.
Now, these were Weequay pirates.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Hondo played a part in any of this.
Ooh, interesting. That would be interesting to know.
He is old. He is considerably older.
Yeah, and he's a Weequay, isn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Just doesn't look like your average Weequay because he's made more unique. But yeah, so after all this, she still doesn't know that her new master killed her previous master.
Yeah. Of course, here's another thing.
Is probably for the best.
How is it that after only 21 years, she only has an introduction into the power of the Force?
Good question. Maybe he's not a good teacher. I don't know. So she ultimately disposed of all the planet's warmongers and ruled in their place, claiming the world as her own. However, when she was attempted to assassinate a remaining warlord, a Volric named Osikia Kirsk, who had ordered the death of her master, she failed. She was captured and forced to fight as a gladiator in his arena with a stun collar around her neck. Her power in the dark side eventually attracted the attention of an off-worlder, the Sonera noble, Count Dooku, who was further impressed by how she had conquered Ratatak.
Well, almost conquered.
Almost conquered, right. So, then Dooku was himself a former member of the Jedi Order, as we all know, who had abandoned his brethren to join the Sith Order as Darth Tyrannus, a Dark Lord under the command of his master, Darth Sidious. The ambitious Count plotted to find a Sith apprentice from whom he could overthrow Sidious and claim the mantle of master. After he killed Krisk, he recruited Ventress to his side as a student, in which capacity she was identified as a Sith acolyte, but in practice she was his Sith apprentice.
I love this. It's always Sith trying to find other Force users to overthrow the Sith Master.
Yep.
That is just nothing but
thanks to Darth Bane, it's just an unending cycle of backstabbing.
Yeah, but to be
That's all
fair,
it is.
Bane set it up that way, so that way the strongest Sith would
Would
rise up.
prevail. Correct.
But
That's
it's
true.
supposed to be a one-on-one combat, not a two-on-one combat. That's how
Right.
he set it up.
Right.
So,
During her time under Dooku, Ventress also held the titles of Dark Acolyte and Sith Assassin. She still blamed the Jedi for abandoning Narek on Ratatak, so she joined Dooku to eagerly kill Jedi and embrace the power offered by the Sith. So,
wait, do we really never learn why her Jedi Master was left on Ratatak at all?
I don't think so. At least I don't think so. I have no idea. But
Yeah, there's a massive plot hole right there.
I believe this is all through comics, so there's that.
Hmm.
So, Ventress is either comics or books, one of the two. Ventress was also considered a Dark Jedi. Dooku gifted her with a pair of curved lightsabers with red blades that had once belonged to one of his previous disciples and bore a resemblance to Dooku's own lightsaber. At one point, Ventress was chained by the wrist and suspended above a vat of hot, bubbling red substance. She managed to break her chains and land safely on the ground and summon one of her lightsabers from a box where a group of the red-robed individuals kept it. So, I'm assuming this
More
was
training.
a test. So,
Yeah.
Test, training, tomato, meh.
Trying to kill your apprentice.
Right. To make them stronger. So in 23 BBY, after meeting the Count on Ratatak, Ventress pledged herself to Dooku at his palace on Sereno, agreeing to serve at his side in exchange for teaching in the ways of the dark side of the Force. He was impressed with her strength in the Force and educated her in a new and brutal lightsaber combat methods, and she became renowned for the use of her twin blades. An additional responsibility of her apprenticeship to the Sith Lord, she was to serve as a commander in the newly established Confederacy of Independent Systems, Dooku's anti-Republic separatist rebellion movement. So, yeah.
Yeah, so basically another just assassin for him to use.
Mm-hmm. So, around 23 BBY, Dooku tasked Ventress to locate his sister, Jinza. For her to find Jinza, she looked through datapads in Dooku's journal and learned about Dooku's life before leaving the Jedi Order. She found that Jinza had been kidnapped by Glut, a Krolute criminal hired by Raz Felidrone. Before Ventress could obtain information from Glut, a sudden blaster bolt was fired into Glut's head, shot by a Republic intelligence officer, Raz Felidrone. He tortured Jinza to try to get information out of her to help the Galactic Republic. Ventress caught up with him and stabbed him through the chest with her lightsaber, but Dooku really intended for Jinza to be killed due to the information she held. Ventress then said, "I'm sorry," as she heeded Dooku's order and buried her lightsaber into Jinza's chest.
Yeah, this was I think a short book. I listened to it, and she supposedly stole this datapad, but Dooku let her have it so that way she can understand a few things about him.
Right. Ooh, that's cool. Is that the comic you were talking about?
Oh, and yeah.
Huh. Okay. And then next we have the events of the Clone Wars, in which we're not going to go over because go watch the Clone Wars. There's way too much with Ventress in the Clone Wars. Just go watch it. I'm not going to go over everything with her in the Clone Wars because that's just way too much time, and everybody has access to Disney Plus. So go watch it. So moving past the Clone Wars, get into her being herself. So Ventress continued to work alone for many months, so becoming quite wealthy from her success in the bounty trade, because she becomes a bounty hunter, for everybody who doesn't know. So around the time of go on.
And somehow gets 2 new lightsabers that are yellow, by the way.
Yeah,
it's never explained how she gets those.
Before or after, I can't remember. So around the time of Dooku's genocide on Marine, around 3 years into the Clone Wars, Ventress accepted a bounty posting from the Rain clan for the capture of the Volpi embezzler Moragi in exchange for 25,000 credits, which is quite a pretty good sum. Her acceptance of the job drove other hunters like Boba Fett away, leaving her free to hunt the target alone. Ventress's tracking ultimately led her to the capital city of Orto Plutuna's moon of Pantora in the Outer Rim territories, where she received a tip that the Moragi enjoyed wandering around a specific sector of the metropolis. Yeah. Pantora. Yep. Isn't that the planet from, like, Borderlands? Or is it... Oh, no, that's Pandora.
Yeah.
Right? That's Pandora. Okay, yeah. Never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah. That'd be funny. She spent quite some time staking out the area, hindered in her search by Pantora's unique multi-level agriculture and expansive park system, which is pretty much similar to Coruscant. While scanning the region with her macro binocular goggles, she found Moragi and descended upon him, but the Volpi refused to surrender and fled the site of the bounty hunter. Ventress gave chase, following the target through crowded streets and across several rooftops. Moragi eventually made it into the street level, but Ventress easily followed him down and tackled him to the ground. Although she nearly captured the Volpi, Moragi was suddenly tackled again, this time by a rival Kifkar bounty hunter named Quinlan Voss.
Okay, I thought so. This whole storyline was a scrapped episode arc in the Clone Wars that they decided to change into a book called Dark Disciple.
Yep.
So.
Which is a really good book if you haven't read it. So unbeknownst to her at the time, Voss was in fact a Jedi Master who had been assigned by the Jedi Council to go undercover as a bounty hunter and gain Ventress's trust. His ultimate objective was to familiarize himself with the habits and techniques of Count Dooku so he could carry out an assassination of the Confederate leader. Knowing that Ventress was more familiar with the Sith Lord than anyone else, the Council encouraged Voss to partner with her while concealing his true identity and purpose.
Now, interestingly enough, in Legends material, there was Quinlan Voss, a very similar story to this, where he went undercover to work for Dooku in order to assassinate him.
Right.
And surprisingly, this happened like Legends, which is the messed up part.
So, to that end, Voss presented himself as a skilled but reckless bounty hunter who was eager to capture Moragi for himself, but more than happy to partner with Ventress and split the reward. Display's sudden intrusion infuriated the Dathomirian as it allowed Moragi the opportunity to escape and momentarily robbed her of her bounty. Ventress pushed past Voss and continued her pursuit, but Voss kept pace throughout the chase, sometimes aiding her and sometimes intervening.
Yeah, I love this. Voss thinks he comes off as a bit of a ladies' man.
Yeah, absolutely. So after a series of speeder chases, Ventress finally distanced herself from Voss and caught up with Moragi, but the Volpi used his four-armed physique to disarm and overpower the bounty hunter long enough to make his escape. Ventress was thrown from a speeder in great height, but was saved from the fall by Voss, who had commandeered a speeder of his own and caught the Dathomiri on his way down. Voss continued to annoy her and insist that they work together to find Moragi, but Ventress's irritation and dismay at having lost track of the Volpi pushed her to abandon the hunt for a short time and instead head to a bar. Voss inevitably followed her there as well, and in exploration, she tolerated his presence instead of reacting violently.
Character growth right there, people. Character growth.
Right.
Instead of beheading him, I'll tolerate him.
Yep. So she was attracted to the fox bounty hunter and recognized that he indeed possessed some skills, but remained insistent that she worked alone and only barely allowed him to join her for a drink. After brief introductions, Ventress allowed the Kefar to inspect a shoulder plate she had managed to pull off the target, and their scuffling. Unbeknownst to her, Voss was particularly skilled in the force technique of psychometry. It's the ability. It's psychometry. The ability to pull images and memories from inanimate objects. After handing the plate for a moment, he was able to roughly estimate the location of Morgi's home.
Okay, so this Kifar bit was bothering me a bit. Apparently, it's not human. Quinlan Voss was not human. It's an entirely different species from human.
They look human, but they're different.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Um,
weird.
Similar to Chiss. Chiss look
Yeah.
human, but they're not.
Well, no, no.
Obviously,
Well, they
they were
have
once,
same physical appearance as humans, but they have like blue skin.
but it was theorized that, or their ancestors were eventually was once human,
Yeah, but
and then
no, I'm just saying
adapted.
Kifar look very more human than
Oh
Chiss,
yeah, yeah,
though.
yeah.
So that
So Ventress followed Voss to a desolate area of the city on the claim that he had received a tip of Morgie's whereabouts. The Kifar was in fact simply estimating the location that he saw in his psychometric vision, but was ultimately able to lead them to a shabby apartment complex on the fourth floor of the building. He and Ventress broke into an apartment unit to find Morgie there with his wife and child. The Volpi was insistent on protecting his family and proclaiming his innocence before offering to pay the two bounty hunters more than the Rain clan. Have some heart. Ventress brushed off her target's protestations and pursued Moragi as he fled from the apartment through a window and onto a repulsor shed in the street below. Voss caught up with her on a commandeered speeder bike, and together the two chased down their target. Ventress quickly leapt from the bike and forced Moragi to the ground, cornering him with her lightsaber and drawn and Voss's blaster aimed at point-blank range. After an exhaustive hunt, the Volpi embezzler had finally been caught.
I like to imagine that choice was very similar to SWTOR, light and dark side. You
Yep,
can let them go, or you can hunt them down.
pretty much, right? So after taking Morgie into custody, Voss hung around Ventress, insisting that he get half the pay for the job, encouraging a continued partnership. Despite her typically solitary nature, the Dathomir agreed to a partnership on a probationary period and required that Voss began to do a daily physical training regimen to hone his skills and speed in combat.
What is it with Dothamirian women and liking persistent men?
I don't know, but it works,
We got
apparently.
this we got Asajj here, and then we got
Marin?
Marin
Yep. That's
with
Cal.
Cal.
Yep.
They just like
Yeah.
Jedi.
That too.
They just like
Yes.
Jedi.
So the business relationship began in earnest over several hunts following the capture of Morgie, usually involving underworld contracts and outlaw targets. During this time, the two hunters frequent the Coruscant Undercity for work. A specific instance saw them ambush a large group of thugs on level 1313, forcing Voss to use the Force to save his partner from being shot. Ventress was distracted during the melee and failed to notice Voss use his telekinetic powers, but was nonetheless suspicious of how her partner managed to disarm the assailant from an apparently significant distance.
So yeah, level 1313 there is just a nod to
It's a
a
nod to the
canceled
game.
game.
Yeah,
Canceled
but I
game with
wish we got.
Bubba Fett, I think.
Was it going to be Boba? I thought it was going to be an original character.
No, it was Bubba Fett.
Was it Boba?
I think so, because
I
I
can't
think it
remember.
was. Yeah, I think it was Bubba Fett.
You might be right. I can't remember.
Now I gotta go look this up. Continue.
You do that. So Ventress handled the acquisition of new contracts for the team, and their fifth job came to her from Captain Lassa Rhyme, who had promised to call on Ventress in the event that she needed a bounty hunter. Rhyme sought the capture of her first mate and former lover, who had recently abandoned the pirate crew and ran off with the heiress, the Bloodbone Order, that had attended a rob. Ventress informed Voss of the job during his training, explaining that she intended to bait the man with sexual advances. The strategy was a success, and the two hunters managed to capture their target in a short 15 minutes. Wow. That was quick.
Yeah, that's what she said. Boom! Right there.
At least it's PG-13. Rhyme expressed her appreciation for the work by including a bottle of her coveted Travaki whiskey with her payment, and the two hunters enjoyed together that evening. While drinking, Voss prodded Ventress for information on her training, and she remained tight-lipped during the period of successful hunting, and the two began to develop feelings for one another beyond professional business relations, although both kept their affections to themselves. Dun, dun, dun.
I can almost
Boss.
hear Sebastian in the background singing "Kiss the Girl."
So the two returned to Coruscant's level 1313 shortly afterwards, so Ventress could work on modifications to the Banshee in relative safety while Voss purchased new supplies and weaponry. The Kifar had in fact used time alone to meet with Obi-Wan Kenobi to update the Jedi Council member on his progress in the mission to assassinate Dooku, but Ventress was unaware and busied herself with the work on the Banshee and lining up a new contract. This time was a powerful cartel of drug runners and spice dealers, the Pike Syndicate.
Boo.
And by the way, the Banshee is their ship. Just to give you everybody a heads up, that's their ship.
Yeah. Also, 1313 was about Boba Fett.
Was it Boba?
And,
okay.
Yeah, and supposedly in 2022 there was gameplay leaked on YouTube.
Yes, there was. Which sucks because that game would have been so much fun. And then Ventress and Voss traveled to the Pike's base of operations on the rocky world of Obadiah, where their old acquaintance Fifth introduced them to the Syndicate's newly installed leader, Marg Krim. Krim's tasked the two hunters with retrieving his wife, Tezca Krim, and their two children, Lali and Ram, from the Black Sun. The rival criminal organization had abducted Krim's family and taken them into Black Sun's fortress on Mustafar in the Outer Rim territories. Ventress was hesitant to take the contract, but agreed regardless, and the two hunters set course for the volcanic planet.
Oh, she does have a heart after all. Rescuing a drug dealer's family from a rival drug gang.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's total, morality there. But yeah, with that being said, let's take a quick mid-break. Thank our awesome patrons, and we'll be right back.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
All right, welcome to the middle of the show. We're talking about everything with the podcast. It has nothing to do with the lore of Star Wars. Here we want to thank all of our amazing patrons. Thank you all so much for supporting us. And if you too want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/holocronhistories, where you can get ad-free episodes or even join us once a month on the show itself. You can also leave us ratings, reviews on Apple and Spotify. Leave 5-star review on Apple with some words or a nice Spotify comment. We'll read it out loud next time on the show itself, which we do have a Spotify comment back on our, I believe this was our Rule of Two episode, part 2. Or, no, this is Rule of Two Legends. So, from K. Jerton, oh my lordy lord, when you said Samuel Jackson wants a Disney Plus show, and I am in progress of making a fan episode 9, where Finn is Windu's son/godson, what a coincidence. Love the show. Well, you're welcome. And yes, Samuel Jackson does want to do a Disney Plus show, because he really wants to come back. Badly.
Oh yeah, did you see the picture? Did you see the bit where Hayden Christensen and Samuel Jackson crashed an LA viewing of Revenge of the Sith?
Oh, absolutely I did, and that was fantastic.
Looked like he was having fun.
Oh yeah, I mean, he hasn't done anything with that character in 20 years. Yeah, that was the last time he played Mace Windu was 20 years ago.
Trust me, he's been trying. He's been trying to do stuff, but
hey, we didn't see a body. Enough said. We didn't see a body.
He was flown off a 500-story building. There is no way he survived that.
and he has the Force. Sue
His
me.
arm was cut off, and he was
And
electrocuted. He
that
was
don't
electrocuted.
mean anything.
That would be
don't mean
distracting as hell,
anything.
man. That would be
Mace
distracting as
Windu
hell.
is
I
one
don't
of the
care.
is the second most powerful Jedi in the galaxy. I'm sure he was able to survive. So, just enough saying that. And then you can also find us in a few different Discord servers, the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, as well as my own Discord server, the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, where you can find this show and all the other shows that I host, which are the Final Fantasy Lorecast, the Gundam Lorecast, the Wizarding World Lorecast, and the Witcher Lorecast. So go check those out. All great stuff, all great fun. And yeah, for Star Wars news, I mean, obviously we had Star Wars Celebration a week ago. This upcoming weekend, we have May the 4th, so Star Wars Day, this upcoming week. So, obviously, we'll get Tales of the Underworld, some new POV videos of Galaxy's Edge and Rise of the Resistance, and we get new merch. There's going to be a mouse droid up for sale on Shop Disney. There's going to be some new, they're doing Master Soul's lightsaber from the Acolyte. I'm trying to think what else is coming out that day.
I can't keep track of that stuff.
I get emails on it, so because I may or may not buy some stuff from this. Let me see here. Shop Disney. Oh, apparently
There's an armor helmet.
Disney
from Mando.
Is it this
Star Wars Cooler Lightsaber.
Mouse Droid, Hilt Soul. Oh, they're doing the Electric Derjek board from the Galactic Archive series. They're doing a Darth Vader Pyra helmet, which is the one that we see in Force Awakens from Kylo. And there is going to be a limited edition Yoda bronze figure, which is pretty cool. And obviously there'll be a bunch of other stuff on Shop Disney as well that day, so be prepared to buy stuff. I'm very tempted with that mouse droid. It's a 1-for-1 scale mouse droid, by the way.
Hey, did you see they got the Stellan Geos lightsaber up for sale?
Yes, don't get me started. I'm very tempted. I'm trying to put together a new Star Wars outfit for cosplaying, so we'll see how money is with that. But anyway, with that being said, do you have anything for the mid-break, Dojo?
We have seen the first 3 episodes of Andor Season 2. I love them.
You mean you have seen the first 3 episodes of Andor Season 2? I'm still catching up on Andor Season 1.
But yes, I have seen it. I love it. The first 3 episodes is a lot of backroom fighting, as it were.
Oh, okay.
And the breakout and this whole thing is a picture of the Imperial guy who was part of the security task force that got sent to Coruscant to do bureaucratic stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I just saw him get fired.
Apparently he was having dinner with his mother and his new girlfriend, the ISB agent. And there was a little bit of tension there, and he just went to the bed in the next room and just laid down there, and it's become the biggest meme.
Oh God! Oh God! All right. Well, let's get back into more Ventress.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
All right. So, upon arrival, Ventress set on the Banshee down in the outskirts of a small mining town near the Black Sun's fortress. The bounty hunters are rented 2 lava fleas for transport and made their way to the village towards the only bar in town, the Last Resort. which is an interesting name for a bar. Upon Ventress identified a felon soldier as an agent of the Black Sun and proceeded to seduce the man after she had pulled him into the restrooms obscenely for intercourse. Voss emerged from hiding and subdued the fallen. The hunter pumped the soldier. The hunters pumped the soldier for information on the Pike hostages before knocking him out and heading towards the criminal fortress. They managed to infiltrate the heavily guarded Black Sun base through an exposed balcony, overcropping the entire and entered the facility's jail cells, where they found Krim's children.
Few things here. How big are these fleas in this universe? When you say fleas, you're thinking small, itty bitty little things.
They're big. They're 6-legged giant things.
I mean, it's like
It kind of reminds me like the big bugs from Morrowind from Elder Scrolls.
yeah.
Kind of remind me of that, but like on a somewhat smaller scale than those.
It looks like water striders,
yeah,
but bigger.
Yeah.
And secondly, will this woman not seduce anyone for information?
I mean, if you got it, you got it. Lolly and Vram informed the bounty hunters that their mother had been separated from them after the abduction and did not know her whereabouts. The complication was compounded where the Black Sun soldier from the last resort returned to the fortress and raised the alarm, alerting the base's many guards to the presence of Ventress and Voss. To make a quick escape, the hunters had the children climb into their backs and fled the balcony back into the lower levels, intending to escape over a lava flow on the backs of their lava flea mounts.
There's an image. We'll escape via the river. What river? That's lava right there. Exactly. We'll escape via the river.
Yep. So with Lolly clinging to her, Ventress made it onto the flea and began to escape, defending the child from the blaster fire of the Black Sun with her lightsaber. Voss was meanwhile shot in the shoulder and nearly fell into the lava flow, but managed to save himself and Vram by using the Force. Eventually, the two hunters made their getaway with the children in tow, but Voss's survival of the fall, which should have killed him, and the child reinforces Ventress's suspicion of her partner and led her to believe that he was indeed Force sensitive.
I can only imagine that Futurama meme of Fry where he's getting suspicious, so he squints his eyes like, I don't trust something here.
So they returned to the Banshee, where Ventress treated Voss's wounds and began to formulate their plan to find Tezca Krim. Although they apparently had no leads, Voss uses psychochemistry ability on a locket worn by Laylee to discern that Krim was indeed still held in the fortress by the Black Sun leader himself, Zeton Mo. Within 20 minutes of their first escape from the compound, Ventress had piloted the Banshee back to the Black Sun base and landed directly in the courtyard. This time, she posed as a Pike Syndicate negotiator, while Voss worked to free Mark Krim's wife.
Wow, talk about being ballsy. First you break in to free two children, and then you just fly back.
Fly literally in their yard.
It's like, hi, we just broke into your facility here, and we want to negotiate.
Right. So the hunters left Lolly and Vram in the ship before venturing into the fortress. Ventress was immediately intercepted by guards who did not recognize her from the recent rescue, and therefore brought her before Moj, so she could state the negotiating terms for the Pikes. She demanded to see Tezca Krim before negotiating, but when the Pike was presented, Voss revealed himself and insinuated a shootout in Moj's throne room. During the melee, Ventress engaged with force-choked Moj, allowing her and Voss time to escape with Krim. The two fled of the scene among heavy fire, having successfully rescued all three hostages from the Black Sun.
Even criminal organizations have bad security, so I don't know what we were expecting from the Empire.
Yeah. So upon returning to Obadiah, an overjoyed Mark Krim rewarded Ventress with double their promised pay. She and Voss left the planet immediately after, but was upon reaching the upper atmosphere, a fleet of Black Sun Interceptor-class frigates and starfighters came out of hyperspace above the planet. Despite knowing the implications for this and their most recent clients, the bounty hunters had no ability to interfere, so they jumped out of the system to find safe haven, and more specifically, a bar.
This isn't our problem anymore. We're out of here.
I mean, I don't blame them. Don't blame them at all. For being bounty hunters, like, yeah, job's done. I got paid. All right, cool. I'm out. Bye. If you want me to do it again, just pay me more. So, after drinking in silence for a time, Voss, who had overcome with his feelings for Ventress, was disturbed by the apparent murder of the Krim family, admitted to his partner that he was indeed a Jedi sent by the Counselor to learn from Ventress and ultimately kill Count Dooku. To his great surprise, the Dathomirian, already aware of his affiliations, citing his unnatural combat prowess and ability to survive even the most lethal incidents as evidence that he is likely a Jedi.
Like, yeah, you couldn't hide that for long, could you?
No. So Ventress was surprised by the Jedi Council's willingness to assign one of its agents to the task of assassination, but understood why. The war had resulted in the deaths of not just many Jedi and clones, but civilians as well. Even though she had more than eager to see Dooku dead, she had long since abandoned the idea of revenge and cautioned Voss that the assassination required him to abandon the vast majority of his Jedi ideals. Regardless, she agreed to help the Jedi by training him in the darker aspects of the Force, so the two of them might stand a chance of killing her former master.
So this revenge she's talking about, real quick, in the Clone Wars, Sidious figured out who Ventress was, ordered Dooku to kill her because she was becoming too strong. He tried to kill Dooku, tried to kill her, failed. She went back to Dathomir, hooked up with the Night Sisters. They tried to kill Dooku as well. That failed. Dooku ordered a massive fleet and army to Dathomir to wipe out the Night Sisters. Night Sisters wiped out, and she was left on the run.
Yep. Yeah, we see this in is it Tales of the Sith? Is that what it is? Where we see Grievous come in and just wipe out all of the Dathomirian.
Well, Tales of the Empire.
Tales of the Empire. Sorry, thank you.
Is about Morgan from Mando.
Yeah, but we
Ahsoka.
see that the Night Sisters get murdered.
See the aftermath of it.
Well, we see like the start of it. We see Grievous come in and just wipe them out.
Yeah. You see the tail end of it, but yeah.
So, moving on. So, while Voss made his final reports to the Jedi Council, Ventress began contacting former associates within the Confederacy to ascertain where and when she and Voss would be able to find Count Dooku. She, meanwhile, began planning his training as an initiate in the dark side of the Force and decided that it would take place on her homeworld of Dathomir, a planet steeped in the energies of the dark side. Upon arrival, the two bore witness to the aftermath of the Night Sister massacre carried out by General Grievous nearly a year before. Skeletal remains in charred forest, teeming with the ghosts of the dead and the pain of Ventress's loss. So, what I just said, we see like the Night Sisters get wiped out. They go back a year after the fact, and there's still a bunch of skeletons and charred forest.
Yeah,
wiped.
So basically, the Dathomir battle took place in the second year of the Clone War, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I just want to say, good on Ventress for letting go of that initially. Just letting go of the revenge. That was a big step for her.
Which is, for any Sith, for anybody who followed the dark side of the Force, is very rare. Like, to let go of that. Normally, that's all you think of and pledge through. So the Dathomirian explained to her companion her life story, from her enslavement by House Said and her apprenticeship to Dooku, and ultimately her return to and eventual loss of her sisterhood. When Voss grasped one of the fallen Night Sisters' energy bows, he received a psychoclimatic vision of the Dathomir massacre and understood Ventress's pain.
Wait a second. If they went back to Dathomir and back to the site, wouldn't Merrin be there?
No, she would have been gone by then.
Yeah, but it looks like
Oh
Did-
no. Yeah, I don't
or
know.
did she take up residence closer to the Knight brothers?
I think she took resident back towards the Night Brothers,
Okay.
because I think it was on a different side of the planet.
Okay.
So, although he still clung to his Jedi teachings and of the avoidance of anger, Ventress pressed him to allow it in, insisting that Jedi orthodoxy would never defeat Dooku. To illustrate her embrace of hatred, she summoned a snake to slither onto her body before crushing its windpipe with a dark-sided fuel force choke. Voss sympathized with the loss that she had endured and revealed to Ventress that, much like she had struggled with the death of Master Cry Narek, he too has struggled with the death of his Jedi Master, Ptolemy. Ventress recalled having killed Ptolemy early in the war, but instead told Voss that it had been Dooku that ended his master's life. The Kifkar Jedi believed the lie and developed a deeper vendetta against the Count for it, as well as the Jedi Council for having apparently withheld the information.
And so the tradition continues. The master lies to the student.
And by the way, this is also all in the Dark Disciple book, for everybody who doesn't know. So, on the eve of their training begin, Ventress and Voss reveal their feelings for one another and kissed, a further rejection of the Jedi mandates of non-attachment and new manifestations of the commitment between the partners turned teacher and pupil. Over the following days, Ventress immersed Voss in the teachings and culture of the Night Sisters, insisting that their use of the dark side was superior to that of the Sith. They set up camp far from the Night Sister village and began Voss's re-education. Ventress took the Jedi on climbs to increase his strength, hunting trips so he could become accustomed to killing her for food, and runs for sake of agility and endurance. On one such run, she had led him to the mouth of her fortress village, but refused to take him inside the abandoned edifice, saving that experience for a later lesson.
Now, just as a reminder, Jedis are no slouches themselves. They are physically fit.
Yeah.
And Quinlan Voss, he's one of those that doesn't want to go back to the temple at all. He avoids the temple like the plague. Only goes back to the temple when absolutely necessary.
Yep.
So he's always out and about in the galaxy.
Mm-hmm. So instead, they returned to their camp where they began a new lesson, recounting her murder of the snake upon arrival. Ventress invited Voss to do the same so he could practice using the hatred to kill without remorse or hesitation. She summoned another snake into the encampment and encouraged Voss to kill this one as she had killed it the first, but the Jedi failed. He lost control of the creature while trying to throttle it with the Force and was bitten, injected with a agonizing, painful, hallucinogenic venom. Dun dun.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep. Well,
that'll be a painful listen right there.
So Ventress watched over Voss's torment until the following morning when the Jedi awoke in a drugged supper. Testing his resolve, she attacked him with her lightsaber, engaged her student in a duel through their camp and across the surrounding forests. She had led Voss all the way back to the abandoned village and ran within, baiting him to follow her. He was taken aback by the natural beauty of the caverns and once housed her people, but was still able to defend against Ventress's attack inside the fortress.
Yeah. Now, is this the same fortress that Darth Maul sets up on in?
I don't think so. I think it's a different
during the
one.
Rebels.
During Rebels? Oh, no. Maybe.
Where he tricks Ezra into joining the holocrons, and then, or
no, that's on a starship.
Or tricks Ezra to get souls sucked into him or something like that.
Possibly, because the Darksaber somewhere.
Yeah.
So, having witnessed him give the dark side during their bout, she had satisfied with the test and ended the duel and continued his tutelage in the ritualistic access of the dark side perfected by the Night Sisters. She explained to him that deep within the pools of water throughout her village lived a creature known as the Sleeper, an ancient beast that is harvested by the Night Sisters in the coming-of-age rituals. The sisters used body parts from the Sleeper to create the Water of Life, and Voss's next test would be to undertake the same ritual by tapping into the dark side to control the beast.
Oh, that poor creature. Being used like that.
I'm trying to remember what it looked like.
I don't think they ever showed a picture.
No, they
of
don't.
It.
They don't ever show it. Never mind. So, in preparation for his encounter with the sleeper, Ventress took Voss to the oceans of Dathomir, where he was forced to train underwater without a breathing device or ocular aids. They worked there for many days, and with her student practicing to increase the underwater endurance and combat the planet's native ocean fauna. The romantic relationship continued to develop and deepen during these days, which led to both of them a question on what they would do after killing Dooku. As Voss would be expected to return to the Jedi Order, his attachment to Ventress was forbidden and would expect it to end. However, having given himself to the dark side and embraced his love for the Dathomirian, Voss declared that he would not be returning to the Jedi after Dooku's assassination.
Let me tell you, I think that would have saved his life.
Oh, absolutely. Because Order 66.
Because in a deleted scene, Quinlan Voss is actually on Kashyyyk in one of those massive juggernaut tanks standing on top. When Order 66 comes down, they just blast the hell out of that tank.
Yep. Which, obviously, just these scenes are not canon, so we're all good. So he destroyed his comlink, his only connection to Kenobi and the Council, and committed himself to Ventress. As they prepared to consummate their love, Ventress was interrupted by a communication from Serdane, a Gossam woman who was an associate of hers from within the Confederacy. Serdane had been working to track Dooku's movements for Ventress and discovered that the Count would soon be on the separatist capital world of Raxus Secundus and the Trion Secundus and the Trion hegemony. So, yeah. Which is it's part of one of their sectors in the
it's capital world.
Yeah. So. Knowing their window and opportunity to carry out the assassination was narrow, Ventress and Voss decided to return to the Night Sister's fortress immediately so he could complete the training by facing the sleeper. Ventress held her student's lightsaber and looked on while he stood at the edge of one of the cavern's pools and attempted to summon the slumbering beast. The sleeper appeared after several moments and obeyed Voss's telepathic commands, climbing out of the water and onto the land. However, when Ventress ordered Voss to kill the beast, he hesitated, allowing the sleeper to break free of his will and drag him underwater. After grappling with the animal and sustaining great injury, Voss was once again able to gain control of it, although he did not want to kill the sleeper, as he had obeyed his commands and was probably the last animal of its kind. Ventress reminded him that their mission was to kill Dooku, even in cold blood if needed be. Voss ultimately complied and strangled the sleeper to death, revealing in the pain he caused, and became empowered in the dark side. Seeing that he was now prepared to use the dark side to kill in any manner necessary, she deemed his training complete, and the two left Dathomir for Raxus.
To be fair, there's a difference from killing a cold-blooded murderer who's probably killed untold millions versus a creature that just wants to sleep.
Yeah.
It's like, you woke me up. What do you want? Oh my god, you're trying to kill me.
Yeah.
Very big difference, in my opinion, but, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But, yeah, that's what we have on part 1 of Asajj Ventress.
A very long part 1.
Yeah, 50-some minutes. I mean, it's a standard episode length. So, just wait till part 2.
Oh, God.
So, yeah. But with that being said, do you have any final thoughts or anything for part 1 before we head out?
Asajj Ventress was a very interesting Legends. What's the set of words I'm looking for here?
Legends
remake. Yeah, she technically was a Legends character from Star Wars Clone Wars 2003, and comics.
Yeah,
I don't think they even. Her first appearance, I want to say, was Star Wars Clone Wars the movie.
No, her first appearance ever was in the animated Star Wars.
Well,
the
I
2D.
mean, when Disney took it.
Oh, when Disney took it. Yes, her first appearance was Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the movie.
So I like the fact they brought her back and gave her more story and depth.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Other
It's
than
great.
just some random assassin.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, everybody, thank you for listening to Holocron Histories, and may the Force be with you.
Thank you for listening to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, the Ben and Friends podcasting Discord, where you can share your thoughts, experiences, and love for the Star Wars lore. And don't forget, for the Republic!